Hey, you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Karleen. Yes, applause. Yay. I'm so happy that you found your way here. I hope you click like, subscribe, and share, and all of that stuff. So let's dive into it. I am doing this on the full moon in Capricorn in June 21st, 2024. And since it's a full moon and it's going to last for the next 3 days of an open portal, let's have a look what this full moon energy is going to bring us. Now, I know some of you are feeling it. You already got hit before the full moon actually came about. And I've been speaking with friends and clients and, people that randoms. But the last cup, this one is quite an impactful one. And I didn't check the astrology. I just want to go with what's being given to me to say and what the download is, what the energy feels like, and it's cathartic to say the least. Yo, and some of you are literally feeling like you might be getting sick. Others of you are not feeling much. You might be feeling like, wow, everything's finally falling into place here. But there's something shifting in the matrix, and there's something shifting in the energy that's being radiated onto us. And there's something shifting in the deep subconscious programming of this experience that we're all having. One of the things I've been given to say that right when I started this video, actually right before, and then I started pressed record here, is that the next wave that is coming in, and it's very subtle, it's very, very subtle, but there's going to be like a pull back, a little bit of a like a wave away from social media. It's gotten to be too much for a lot of people. The energies that are on social media right now are really, come to my channel, right? But the energies that are on social media right now are kind of a little bit a lot for people, especially with the quick ones like YouTube is a little bit slower paced. Facebook is a little bit slower paced. There's a inundation of information there, but the ones like TikTok and Instagram that goes super fast, no. And I feel like the energy is shifting on those social medias because the intelligence of AI is exponentially growing, right? So AI is all up into this. Now, there are other social media platforms that are now coming out, like Quora, something like that, which doesn't really allow AI to learn. So you're safe to use to post your, for example, your creations there, your paintings, drawings, everything like that. But on all the other platforms, of course, AI is going to scout, utilize, and self-teach it with your works. So we're feeling that energy, and people are starting to notice, something's different here. Some kind of energy is different in the world anyways, and we'll dive into that. But also with the energy of AI, the intelligence now, coming onto our social media platform. So it's getting, we can feel it here in our throat for some of you guys, or here in your third eye here. Some of you feel a heaviness in your stomach or your chest, but it's there. So we'll see what happens. But as we it could be that wave wise, because that's what they're showing me, is this return where it's becoming more trendy to go back to flip phones. So you're going to see a lot of people, especially, like people that work in this, or that even that created this whole thing. They don't allow their children on, and they're on for a very limited amount of time in their day. So we're seeing that translate to higher end kind of lifestyle, is the luxury to not be online, the luxury to have a flip phone or be offline, because it's just not that important, right? So we're going to hear more people like Yuval Harari, who stated that he only has a phone for a smartphone for emergencies or travel. And so you'll see a lot more like slow coffee shops coming up again as well. slow living, a slower paced life, that kind of thing, slow luxury, slow travel, everything that's kind of slow, because we've gotten so fast. It's like zoop, 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 that even our evolution, our development, we can't keep up. And it's gotten so fast, this information bombardment, and the changes, the radical changes they used to happen like every decade, something new would come in, and people were already having a hard time with that. But now it's literally every 2 days, something is brand new, never seen before, fresh off, all of that. And it's a lot. It's a lot for us. So we're going to be seeing that wave, but it won't last too long. That's what I'm feeling. Maybe, it'll be a year, maybe 2 years, something like that. And then people are going to come back on again, right? But it's still going to be a different level of coming back on, a different appreciation, a different understanding. As we mature, as we evolve as well, we learn how to deal with this tool of social media, which is mass connectivity, right? Connecting to the mass nervous system of the collective, almost, in a sense, with a touch of AI. But yeah, so that's one message that I'm hearing, that's going to be more in focus, that people just want to unplug, literally unplug, and have the feeling, at least, that they're unplugged for a while. So let's see what's coming up for the collective and what cards. And I'm just, I'm working with tarot cards here. 1 second. I flipped them all. 1 second, you guys. I flipped them all. So, but this stack came out. So I'm just going to work with this stack then, since that's the stack that kind of fell out and wanted to be seen. 1 second here. There we go. Okay. So the first card in this stack is, yeah. Okay, we've got the 8 of Cups. So moving away, walking away from things, and this energy of separation, distancing, okay? And this energy of separation, distancing with the 8 of Cups, it almost feels as if this collective, it just wants, it needs space. It needs, there needs to be space again. It almost feels like the world is too small. It's gotten too small. It literally feels, even though we're going into a population crisis, it feels as if there are almost too many people on this planet. You go anywhere and the parking lot is full. You walk through any store, no matter how big it is, it's full. You try to apply for a job, you try to apply for an apartment somewhere, it's like it's full. So it literally feels, lower hand here, as if we need more distance. There needs to be more distance between us again in order for us to find the closeness again. And so that's what people are intuitively seeking. And this full moon in Capricorn is kind of triggering. Capricorn is already a kind of an energy that's very grounded, very focused, very limiting, in the sense, not as in defining, right? But it's also a kind of a distant energy. It understands the play of closeness and distance. It understands appropriateness. So there's this feeling of seeking appropriateness that is also coming up in this energy of the full moon in Capricorn. It also feels as if there's this yearning for distant lands. So the collective looking to the distance again, looking to other worlds, other constructs, the future, making a move towards the future. That's what I'm feeling this energy is kind of bringing up. Now, remember that with the 8 of Cups, it's also the leaving energy. It's not the death card. That's the leaving energy. The death card is actually the transformational energy. The 8 of Cups is the leaving energy. And so this full moons are always portals. And if you observe right after a full moon, usually, sometimes they're eager and it's a little bit before, but right after a full moon, check the news and just see who's left the planet, who's decided to move on. But it feels like this is going to trigger a, I wouldn't say a mass leaving, but there will be something after this full moon where you know they don't want to miss the bus, the boat, the ferry, the you name it, and this is their exit point and they're taking that. Okay, it could also be someone that is of some ranking here. That's why it's popping up as important. But yeah, so the next card that comes up is the Seven of Cups. Now the Seven of Cups, it really illustrates this together with the Eight of Cups. It's leaving illusions behind, right? So leaving illusions or moving into illusion, because actually the Eight of Cups came first and then the Seven of Cups. So moving into what you believe, starting to build on what you feel is worthy of building up, and starting to move into that. That's what it feels like. Now, choices need to be made. And so there's this real discernment energy that is coming up with this full moon in Capricorn as well, discerning what's the right move to make, what's the option to take, which decision is going to get us where, putting your ducks in a row. That's another thing that's coming up as I look at this card. Everything is nicely put in a row, and getting your ducks sorted, getting your ducks in a row. Then the next card that comes up after that has to do with finances, financials, and this is the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is, of course, has to do with, it's the final card in the tarot deck, and this is mastery over life. This is, it starts off in the Fool and moves through these experiences, right? And the major archetypes or the major arcanas are like the programming or the experiences that we move through, that our spirit moves through in this life, whereas the minor arcana are the programs that we utilize, the interaction or the interfaces that we utilize, the personality aspects, the actions taken, the motivations, the intentions, the formation of ideas and concepts, the communication that we take to interact with the experience that we're currently moving through. So with the King of Pentacles showing up, that means that we've literally experienced, if not mastered, experienced all the variations of action taken, communicating, intending, feeling, emoting that we can possibly experience, right? So there's this feeling in the collective like we've come to the end of our rope, and we actually know everything we need to know to master the situations that we're currently finding ourselves in. And because the King of Pentacles does have to do with mastery. It also has to do with the choice, right? So we're seeing here the Seven of Cups, the choice, which could be seen as the election, which is kind of a, what do you call it? An illusion, right? Because the Seven of Pentacles also represents illusion. So there's this illusion of choice in regards to a leader who brings prosperity, stability, safety, all those things that we're hoping for. There's a moving away from choosing a leader. That seems to be the equation, the story here behind these cards, right? So we've got the Eight of Cups, the choice, the Seven of Cups, and here we have the King of Pentacles, who represents, if this is a person, someone, of course, who's a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but also an energy or a consciousness of providing, taking care of, leading, supporting, knows all the answers to all the questions. So putting someone on a pedestal, that could be that it's moving away from that, but it could also mean that someone significant might be leaving a race, might be leaving an election cycle as well. Might not be, there's a negation in that Eight of Cups, Seven of Cups. That's a kind of a moving away from energy. And it may be that someone who's put themselves up to be voted for or elected, they might not be entering in on solid ground. Now, I'm not quite sure because, again, Macron is calling for new elections in France. We've got the elections going in the US. We've got the Belgian president who has stepped down in light of the recent results, and so on and so forth. Like, look around, right? But it feels if one of these entities or people is standing on very, very shaky ground, and it's not quite sure yet, but underneath in the matrix planning. So if you see, because I always see the cards also multidimensional, these are energies, actual energies to me. And sometimes I see them multidimensional, right? So energy here, energy here, energy here. So this energy would be moving away. So the matrix is actually trying to get one of these characters to leave that position, and that person is kind of being stubborn. So I'm not quite sure which one it is, but we'll soon find out. Next up, we've got justice. This is karma. This is the balancing of the energies, the balancing of the equation. And there's no energy in this card in the sense of there's no punishment attached to it. Now, we see here that, you know, the way it's drawn and everything, that it's a judgment, and a judgment follows a you're not enough, and a punishing, right? But actually, that's not what justice has anything to do with, or karmic balancing has anything to do with. This is a realization point, and a realization that it can't continue like this. We have to flip. We have to switch into something else. A realization that something else has to come about. There has to be a different behavior coming out. Now, we can also take this literally and say that this is someone who is of material wealth, who recently went through a justice system, or went through some kind of a court case, right? And in that case, the cards are definitely showing what is that this person is on very shaky ground. And if it's that person that just went to a court case in New York, it's shaky. It's really shaky with this person, because that would be a first for the US. You know, it's a very difficult situation or position that he's been put in. And that would be a first for the US, irrespective of his character, to place someone who now has that label tagged on him due to the court case in a position of leadership. That would be interesting indeed. That would be quite an interesting thing to see. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm still not picking up the vibe that this person is actually going to make it. He might be the most popular right now. He might be, you know, people are like seeing him as the underdog, seeing him as being beset with defamation and all these hardships, but it's not that black and white, number one, and I still don't see it as being part of the plan right now, not from the universe. And I feel like he was part of the plan like 4 years ago, right? And or 8 years ago now, and that was fine. But now the universe, the programming all the way underneath, like I showed you those layers, that programming has switched. And so this person is actually meant to move on into something else, is meant to take it to another level, do something else with his good intentions, but he's staying stuck and staying stubborn, and this is causing a negative karma to build up for him. So there's something that's coming up. So here we have the Two of Wands, which is a new outlook, and this is definitely stating that, you know, there's a new energy coming in. Back to what this video is actually about. There's this June Capricorn, right? There's June Capricorn. It's actually the energies are giving us the ability to, it's not a springtime starting fresh. That's not it. And definitely not a springtime fresh, you know, spring clean. And now, yay, we're starting something new. We're out there doing something fresh and new. It's not that, no. But we have the opportunity with the Two of Wands to envision a new goal, a new pathway. It's almost like we keep willfully going down a set pathway, and the universe keeps coming and saying, you know, here's a point where you can visualize, you know, create something new, create a different pathway, create a way out of this doomsday pathway that you guys are choosing to go down. It's okay now to visualize something new, take stock of what's happened in the past, the decisions that have led you here. Look around and really see, perceive what's going on, and now visualize something new, go down a new pathway. At least have the intention or the willpower to do something different. That's the Wands energy, is the willpower, right? So at least have the willpower, the desire to do something different, Two of Wands. But here we are. So the Eight of Wands is, from here on in, this year is going to move super fast, super fast. Lots of communication, lots of news. Things are going to pick up pace because there's so much happening all around the world now. And whether we're looking to, like I said, European countries, North American countries, Asian countries, Africa, whatever, Latin American countries, everything is going on at the same time everywhere. Mexico just voted in their first female president, for example, which is an incredible step for Mexico. I mean, there's a lot to be said about her. She used to be the mayor of Mexico City, but we're leaving that out of this video. There's a lot, but it's fantastic that Mexico now has a first female president, because that's going to be an incredible, you know, just from the stance or the point of role model, right? But also, I always felt Mexico to be a feminine country, a feminine energy. That doesn't mean weak by any stance, but I never felt it to be this patriarchal, top-heavy, cerebral, sky god kind of energy. That it's not that. So I feel like with this feminine energy coming in now, even though she does carry a masculine energy, but still there's at least, you know, a representation of focus on the feminine energy, going to be an expansion of that. There's again, Mexico has aligned itself for a more positive shift forward, but there's still so much to be done there. Again, past the limit of this video to say that, but there is a something that is around that feminine energy that is seeping up in the US. Okay, I'll just, you know, there is something around a feminine energy that is also coming up in the US, and what could happen interim, because like I said, I don't see this candidate here who should be moving on into something else, but is holding on to something that the universe doesn't really want him in that position, playing that role. Just, it doesn't mean he's over. It doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that's what I'm picking up from the universe, is that's not his role right now. And this is why he's not unlikely to get it. And why things are moving against him is because he's not letting go. And so that's why I do these videos on people, so we can actually watch and see how people make decisions, how they perceive things, how they make their decisions, and how that works in the universe, and how that translates into lived experience. And so that's, we can watch this now unfold, right? So it's but there's something about a feminine energy that's coming up in the US. I'll just leave that right there. Not for, I feel it's like a transitional energy. Yeah. Okay. You guys know where I'm going. Okay. So, yeah, the Three of Swords coming up here as the final card in this, and it's meant to, and what I found interesting is it came right after the Eight of Wands. So we have the Eight of Wands, and it's flying right into, it's targeting. Again, I'm speaking energies. I see these cards as literally like energies. So not these cards specifically, but when I read cards. And so we're seeing these Eight of Wands directly target the heartbreak or the wounding. You guys get that? See? So let's say we're having the heartbreak of the collective over here, the wounding. These messages are going right into the core of that. So they're targeting people and collectives where it hurts, and they're triggering them for a reason. Some of you guys have been paying attention, and you know that, for example, the draft is returning, things of that nature are happening worldwide. There is a higher, more expenditure now. on military budgets. Again, there's a higher creation of military items. I'm very careful in how I, articulate this. And there's also a hiring spree that is happening across the military industrial complex, right? So if you're if you feel like this is just the way of the world and you don't really have any, anything that's blocking you or any resistance, now is your time, because in conflict is where careers are made. We know this, right? It is what it is. So they're hiring, go apply. I'm just saying what is. So in any case, but this Capricorn moon is bringing the energies in to create structure for what is to come. Okay, so that means that people that are supposed to be removed will be removed, and that people that are supposed to be put in place are put in place. The pawns on the chessboard are being placed. The structures, the mindset, the communication, the wordplay, the news, the triggers that need to be set in order for something else to go off over here, or instead for this ball to hit that. It's like a ping pong machine. They're all being put in place. And at some point, someone is going to punch the button and zing, 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 zing. And people will be doing exactly what they were set up to do. And that's all being put in place now. So pay attention into August and September, because this is a big, beautiful portal. And I'm used to these energies now, so I just smile. And I know about the programming that is happening as well during these frequencies, and the programmings that are happening early in the morning, and the frequencies that are I was able to see that at some point while I was in Mexico, but it's a whole other, maybe Patreon video. If you're not on my Patreon, check it out. Description box below this link. Head on over, please do. Join me over there. And that's where I do the more other stuff and the deeper stuff and stuff like that. Stuff. But yes, so that's the portal that seems to be opening up here. And again, we have the choice to visualize something different as a collective, right? As a collective, visualize something else, because what we focus on is what we see and what we put energy into, and it manifests into a reality. So but what the collective is focusing on these deep, deep inner levels, is restructuring our societies and our world. Okay, that's the focus right now. So we're experiencing the waves on the top of this monster consciousness underneath moving. And so everything's shaking around up here, and we're like clutching our pearls going, oh my gosh, and what's happening. But it's life is happening. That's what's happening. And there has never been a civilization that has been here eternally from day one to the end. So it shouldn't be surprising to us that we're going through these civilizational changes either. It is life. That is what's happening. But how it plays itself out and works itself out is that these energies are moving in a way to cause us discomfort. And this discomfort that comes up also in the collective is meant to set impulses to cause us to make certain changes that are no longer beneficial, that are, to change structures that we don't need holding on to anymore. Like they're outdated and they don't apply to our current understanding. That doesn't mean that they're invalid. It just means it's time to put them to rest. And the only way humanity seems to want to change on that level is through conflict and through struggle. And so that's why we see the most biggest developments after a war, during a war, but also developments on every scale, whether we're looking at medical developments, whether we're looking at educational, whether we're looking at women's rights, whether we're looking at equality in societies, whether we're looking at boundaries of countries, right? Like the current boundaries of our countries. they're relatively modern. They're not that old. And usually we drew them through unit. Yes. So this next change, there is a conflict brewing for sure, for absolutely sure. And we've been knowing this for the last couple of years. And but now and last year I said we're not there yet. The year before I said we're not there yet. The year before that, when we were talking about it collectively, I got the information. We're not there yet, but now I'm getting the information that we're almost there. We're almost there. It's like this close. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it's this year quite, but next year might be edgy. Like this year might be a little bit of a fray, usually around September, August, September. Things start to, especially this year, right, with the elections coming up in the US, because if US, but that's speculation, so I don't want to go down that road. But what I'm getting, that's the message I'm getting, is that it might heat up around that September, August to October kind of hump. And but the full scale blowout, it might be 25, might be 27, but something is shifting, and we can still shift timelines. So who knows, we might do that again. We've done it before. But this June Capricorn moon is literally putting the pieces on the chessboard, and or setting up the ping pong, the pinball machine, so that whoever punches that button or pulls that lever or whatever, bing, and it lights up. Anyways, see you on the next one. And if you guys would like to know what this June moon means for you, join me over on Patreon. I'll be doing a pick a card over there. Take care. Bye.